It's a gloomy, relatively warm winter's day here in Boston. So we're gonna go to the library, we are gonna pick up some holds, we are going to return some overdue books, and we're gonna read and do some work, maybe grab a bite. So let's get out of here. Getting a portobello mushroom sandwich. It's a while later and I thought it would be fun to share a little library book haul. I feel like we don't romanticize the library often enough, and I want to thank Reba Reads for really inspiring me to share my little trip to the library, because I don't think we realize how lucky we are to live in a place where you can actually read books for free and access so many resources and have a space where you don't actually have to purchase anything. And I said this in my booktube newbie tag, but where I'm from in Puerto Rico, there are not any public libraries, so I wasn't really able to check books out, and any book that I wanted I had to purchase. Libraries are the best. So I have a couple books I want to talk about, and we're gonna start with the book that I have checked out the longest, and it is Alphabetical Diaries by Sheila Heti. When I first heard this was coming out, I was really excited because I really like diaristic writing. I really enjoyed Sheila Heti's Motherhood. I thought it was a little bit self-indulgent, but it dealt with the question of motherhood and the ambivalence of motherhood, and I like books about that. I thought Sheila Heti in that book, which was autofiction, said a lot of feelings and thoughts that a lot of people might have but might be unwilling to share because they might be considered not socially acceptable, and I like that. I put a hold on Alphabetical Diaries as quickly as I could, and I was one of the first people in my library to get it, and it is due in a couple of days and I haven't even started it. I guess I didn't look at what the synopsis of the book was before I checked it out, and I do want to give it a chance, so I'm not gonna just return it without trying it. So Sheila Heti took all the sentences in her journals, like a decade's worth of journals, and put them in a spreadsheet and sorted them in alphabetical order by the first letter of each sentence. And she ended up keeping 60,000 words. And these 60,000 words are supposed to be brilliant. The sections of the book are in alphabetical order from A to Z, as the title suggests, and every sentence in every section starts with that letter. I'm worried that there is no thread to follow, but obviously there are patterns in our thinking, and I think there probably are little nuggets of beauty in this, and I just have to be patient. I've just been reading so many books that are capital L literary that don't have a lot of plot, and I'm worried that I will not be able to follow along. I hope that it is good. I've heard good things. I actually really like the back. The back has the letter H, and I think that what she says is really lovely, so I'm gonna read you a little bit of it. How much I enjoy pleasure. How much pleasure there is in just sitting around, writing, eating, and reading. How nice it is to contemplate new things for a change, and how good it would be to do that every day. Just as last night we contemplated the stars, another day could be a tree. How many experiences are available to us in the nearest vicinity that we do not grasp hold of, let alone all those expectations at a further distance. So that sounds really cute. I just don't know if I'm in the mindset right now to read sentences and kind of figure out a thread between them. But I appreciate the experimental nature of this, so we'll see. Another book that I checked out is Sugar Baby by Celine Saintclare. Full disclosure, I am 50% done with this book. I've tried to record this video so many times, this haul video, and my camera just, the settings are wrong, so I had to start a book. Of course, I had to be responsible. This book is from the perspective of a 21-year-old pretty biracial woman in the UK, and she is thrust into the world of sugar babies. She is barely making ends meet. She didn't finish high school. She works cleaning houses with her mom, who's really religious. She still lives at home, and she's at a loss for what to do, and just feels she has this passion to become a photographer, and how is she going to get there if she doesn't have an education, if she doesn't have like the financial means. So this book is about sex work. It's about being the child of immigrants. Her mom is from St. Vincent in the Caribbean. It's about art, it's about sexual awakenings, and I still don't know how I feel about this. I truthfully have been having a really hard time reading books physically, and I'm so lucky that I actually was able to get a copy from Libro FM, so thank you, Libro, because I have it on audio now and it's good. But I'm still trying to figure out how it is I feel about it. So far it has sucked me in, and I hope that it has a great conclusion. The next book is a translated book. It is Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. This is written by Satoshi Yagisawa, and I got this because it has a cat on the cover, and who can resist a cat on a cover? This book is about a woman who has a boyfriend that she is hoping to marry. She's 25, and one day her boyfriend comes up to her and is like, hey, I'm getting married. And she's like, what? Are you asking me to marry you? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, I'm marrying this other woman that I've been seeing behind your back. And so, of course, she happens to also get a call from her great uncle who owns a bookshop in Tokyo, and he offers her a room in the upstairs of the bookshop, and there she discovers her love of books, and hopefully it's a healing, sweet story. And I think that her uncle also plays a big role in it, and they're opposites, and their dynamic is hopefully good. And it's about, you know, going to coffee shops and just vibing, and I'm sure that there's gonna be cats. So this sounds right up my alley. I am worried because some people say that it's dragged in the end, and so I hope that it doesn't disappoint me. I need a little bit of comfort. The next book that I have checked out is a book that I've checked out like 4 times, and it's Cold Enough for Snow. I need to read this. This was in my winter TBR, and I have been a little bit less successful than I wanted to be with the 5 books that I had selected. Out of the 5 books that I put in my winter TBR, I've only read 2, so I hope that I can at least read this one and SULA, which are short, but this one is still checked out from the library. I think this book is about a relationship between a mother and daughter. It is set in Tokyo as well. It is originally in English though, and it's written by an Australian author, Jessica Au. Apparently this book has a quiet beauty, and I feel like I'm trying so hard to read these slow books in the winter. I've always liked to read slower paced books in the winter, even like shorter ones, and I'm I'm having a hard time, but I think for this one and for Alphabetical Diaries, I'm going to start each of them and give myself 15 minutes. I'll set a 15-minute or a 20-minute timer and see if I can get into them, because I've just been so impatient with my reading lately. And lastly, we have Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McGonaghy. This one surprised me that I checked it out. This is not what I normally go for, but I recently finished Migrations, which I adored. I will talk about Migrations more in my February wrap-up, but it was also written by Charlotte McGonaghy. It was also written by Charlotte McGonaghy. McGonaghy writes cli-fi or climate science fiction, which again is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but the way that she does it is so gripping and so lyrical, and also so like plot heavy, and also incorporates like biological facts and like climate facts that I just can't help but be sucked in. I would love to just read this in a sitting, just like I did with Migrations. I feel like this is just a book I'm going to devour, and I wanted to read the first line of the book. When we were 8, Dad cut me open from throat to stomach. And I forgot to say what this book was about, but this book is about 2 sisters who go to the Scottish Highlands to reintroduce 14 grey wolves. I think similarly to Migrations, like there's trauma that follows them. They're trying to figure out what is going on. So after these biologists release the wolves, a farmer is found dead and people are blaming the wolves, and the sisters are like, no, like it wasn't the wolves. So I think it's a murder mystery, which again is not something I typically read, but I think it will be just what I need because I really need a little bit of plot, just a smidgen, just a smidge. So yeah, these are the books. Hope you enjoyed the trip to the library. I hope that it's okay that this video is a little bit shorter than usual, and if you're still here, tell me how many books do you have checked out from the library right now. My number is 8 if you count audiobooks. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!